This video is brought to you by Audible. Sometime in the 1880s, a woman's body was pulled from the River Seine in Paris. She was young, 16 maybe, and she had no physical trauma on her, so the authorities just assumed that she probably drowned herself. As was the custom at the time, her body was put on display at the Paris morgue so that somebody could possibly come by and identify her. The viewing room of the morgue is where you would go if you were missing a family member, but it was also kind of a morbid attraction for people of the day. And apparently this woman was so beautiful that word spread and drew crowds. But her identity remained unknown, and she took on the name L'Inconnue de la Seine, or the Unknown Woman of the Seine. She was eventually given a pauper's burial in a city cemetery in an unmarked grave, but before they did that, one of the morticians, because of her popularity, made a face mask of her and captured her likeness forever. And this half-smiling, serene, Mona Lisa-like face kind of became a hot item. Copies were made and sold all over Europe. Artists would use it as a reference for their art. Poets made poems about it. It was the hot home accessory for the Victorian age. Already a weird kind of afterlife. But it gets weirder, because several decades later in the 1940s, a Norwegian toy manufacturer named Asmund Lerdahl had recently had a huge success with a doll named Anne that was made with a new type of material, one that was much more lifelike than wood or porcelain dolls, plastic. Soon after this, a group of doctors approached Asmund with an idea. They were working on a new type of resuscitation, something they called CPR, and they were looking for somebody to build a life-size mannequin that they could then take around and show people how to do the procedure. And he decided to take it on because he had almost lost his own son a few years earlier to drowning, so he wanted to help make sure others wouldn't suffer the same fate. So he and his team set to work on a mannequin, and when it came time to pick a face for this mannequin, he remembered this antique face mask that his in-laws had up in their home. It was the face of L'Inconnue. He named it Resusci Anne after his popular doll, and in the United States it went by the name CPR Annie. And in CPR classes, one of the first things they tell you to do is to assess the person's status. And so for decades in CPR classes, trainees were taught to ask, "Annie, are you okay?" before delivering CPR. And yes, that is exactly where Michael Jackson got it from. And to this day, L'Inconnue's face graces CPR dolls all around the world. The face of this sad, possibly lonely girl who took her own life 150 years ago is now the most kissed face of all time. And though she was not able to save her own life, she has helped save lives of countless others. This is an amazing story. Although it is debated, some people